Hey there, and welcome. We're about to dive into something pretty universal, that feeling of loneliness. But we're going to look at it through a really unique lens, a short, incredibly powerful poem that takes us on a journey from total isolation to, believe it or not, a deep sense of connection. So let's get started.
Right out of the gate, the poem hits you with this line, "I called me, no one was there." Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't about calling a friend and getting voicemail. No, this is about reaching inside yourself and finding nothing. It's that profound, hollow feeling of being a stranger in your own skin, and it just perfectly nails the emptiness at the very heart of loneliness.
And that feeling? Well, it throws us right into the first part of this journey, which the poem calls the echo of emptiness. This is where we see a picture of complete isolation, a place where the speaker feels absolutely lost, with no hope in sight.
What's so powerful here is this sense that it's all permanent. It's not just, I feel lonely today. It's this deep belief that my current loneliness has no end. And that thought turns a bad mood into a prison, right? One with no exit, locking the speaker in this cycle of despair.
So this stage is just filled with these painful, looping questions that don't seem to have any answers. It's that feeling of pouring all your energy, all your heart into the world and getting absolutely nothing back. It's like shouting into a massive canyon and not even hearing an echo, just silence.
And this is where the poem just brilliantly captures the paralysis of loneliness. The speaker is caught in this impossible trap. If you stay still, you can't grow. But if life suddenly shatters around you, you're too broken to move. Either way, you're just stuck.
But right on the very edge of that despair, something incredible starts to happen. There's a shift. This is the big turning point in the poem, where just passively suffering starts to morph into an active, conscious decision for change.
Just listen to the power in these four statements. The language does a total 180 from I cannot to I need to. This isn't just wishful thinking anymore, this is a declaration. The speaker is deciding right here and now to become the author of their own story, to actively go out and find a new way to live. This is the first real step toward freedom.
But here's the thing. To create that new order, you first have to understand the problem differently. And this brings us to the absolute core idea of the whole poem, where it drops its most profound piece of wisdom.
Okay, this is the game changer. The poem argues that loneliness isn't an emptiness inside you that needs to be filled. It's a response. It's a signal, kind of like physical pain that's telling you something's wrong. And what's wrong? It's a defect of not belonging, a sign that a really important connection has been broken and needs to be fixed.
This contrast is everything. Before, loneliness felt like this big, empty void, a total dead end. But with this new understanding, it becomes a starting point. It's not a sign that you're broken. It's just a signal telling you that you need to find connection. It completely transforms the problem into a path forward.
Of course, this immediately brings up a pretty terrifying question, one we've all felt. What if you try to connect, and there's just nothing there? What if you put in all that effort to find a sense of belonging, and all you get back is silence? Just reinforcing that feeling of emptiness.
And the poem's answer is just stunningly simple. Look in the mirror and see myself. The point is, before you can truly connect with anyone or anything else, the first and most crucial connection has to be with the person looking back at you. The journey outward has to start inward.
This insight launches us into the most empowering part of the whole journey, the friend in the mirror. This is all about shifting that search for worth and companionship away from the outside world and focusing on the one place it can always be found, inside yourself. The speaker starts building this new foundation piece by piece with these really powerful affirmations. It's a recognition of their own inherent value, that your very presence, your breath, even just your efforts to connect are worthy, no matter what happens. And it all leads to this incredible moment of self-reliance. I have me to count on.
And here it is, the climax of this whole internal journey. I am my best friend. It's such a simple, powerful declaration, but it ends that desperate, painful search for someone else to validate you. When you can truly say this and mean it, that internal void finally starts to fill. You're not waiting for someone to show up anymore, because you are finally, truly there for yourself.
So what happens once that inner sense of belonging is solid? Well, a new, much bigger connection to the world suddenly becomes possible. This isn't about desperately looking for approval anymore. It's about confidently taking your place in a much bigger story.
This is the final state of being the poem leaves us with. It's where action and belonging become the same thing. Self-worth isn't just a passive feeling anymore. It translates into movement, into action, and every single action reinforces that feeling that you are exactly where you're meant to be.
And the journey wraps up with this beautiful, almost transcendent image. The connection expands beyond yourself, beyond even other people, until you feel like you are part of nature, hearts beating. It's a sense of belonging that's as fundamental and as natural as a heartbeat. This is the ultimate answer to loneliness.
So the poem leaves us with this really powerful, direct challenge, and I'm going to pass it right along to you. After this whole journey from emptiness to connection, it really all boils down to this one question. The next time you feel that echo of loneliness, who are you going to turn to first? Who is your best friend when you feel alone?